Napa Valley power couple whose perfect life, think marble mansions, Rolls-Royces, and gala nights, crumbles when a 20-year-old secret rips them apart. Golden Facade. I've been trimming roses for the rich and famous in California for years, and let me tell you, their gardens hide more secrets than their bank accounts. My latest job's at a sprawling estate in Napa Valley, owned by Willow and Robert, a couple whose wealth could make a king jealous. Their mansion gleams under the sun, all marble columns and floor-to-ceiling windows reflecting the vineyard hills. Tonight, they're hosting their annual gala for their charity foundation, and the place is buzzing like a beehive. I'm out here pruning their heirloom rose bushes while limos and Rolls-Royces purr up the driveway, spilling out guests in black tie finery. The air smells of jasmine and Dom Perignon, but there's a tension I can't shake, like a storm brewing behind the golden facade. I'm no stranger to the lives of the elite. As a former Marine, I've seen my share of chaos, but nothing compares to the quiet wars fought in these manicured gardens. I keep my head down, my shears sharp, and my ears open. Tonight, I'm working late, shaping the rose trellis near the terrace where Willow, 42, holds court in a Dior gown that probably costs more than my truck. Her auburn hair catches the chandelier light, and her smile's so polished it could sell diamonds. Robert, 43, stands beside her, his tailored tux fitting like a second skin. He's a venture capitalist, the kind who turns startups into unicorns, but his eyes are distant, like he's calculating something other than stock options. The gala's in full swing, with crystal flutes clinking and a string quartet playing Vivaldi. I'm clipping a thorny branch when I overhear Zena, Willow's old friend and a hotshot fashion designer, laughing with a group of guests. She's 40, all sharp cheekbones and sharper wit, her sequin dress catching the light like a disco ball. God, Willow, remember those college days at UCLA? You were wilder than a Coachella after party, she says, her voice carrying over the crowd. Willow laughs, but it's tight, like she's swallowing glass. Robert's head snaps up, his jaw tightening. I keep snipping, but my gut tells me something's off. Zena's words linger, and I can't help but wonder what wild means in their world. I move to the fountain, a marble monstrosity with carved cherubs spouting water, and start clearing ivy. That's when Zara, a gal with a gallery in Beverly Hills, joins the conversation. She's 41, elegant in a silk jumpsuit, but her eyes have that hungry look I've seen in folks chasing clout. It's amazing, isn't it, she says, swirling her champagne. Willow and Robert met so young, had their fun in college, and still built this empire together. Robert's smile falters, and he says, "Fun? We were high school sweethearts, together since I was a junior." The air shifts, like someone turned off the music. Zara blinks, caught off guard, and Zena's face freezes mid-sip. Willow steps in, her voice smooth as velvet. "Oh, Zara, you know how memories get fuzzy. We've known each other forever, that's all." But her hand grips Robert's arm a little too tight. I'm no detective, but I've seen enough to know when someone's hiding something. Back in my Marine days, you learn to read people, friend or foe, in a glance. Willow's deflection feels like a smokescreen, and Robert's not buying it. I move to the next bush, closer to the terrace, and catch a glimpse of Samuel, Willow's lawyer, whispering to her. He's 45, slick as a used car salesman, his cufflinks flashing with emeralds. "Keep it together, Willow," he murmurs. "You don't want rumors at a night like this." She nods, but her eyes dart to Robert, who's now talking to Annie, his assistant. Annie's 35, sharp as a tack, with a quiet confidence that doesn't need a designer label to shine. She's been by Robert's side for years, and the way she leans in, listening, makes me think she's more than just staff. The night rolls on, and I'm sweeping petals by the gazebo when I spot William, their neighbor, and a tech mogul with a startup that's all over Forbes. He's 50, with a smug grin that screams trouble. He pulls Willow aside near the koi pond, his voice low. "You know, Willow, secrets have a way of blooming, just like these gardens," he says, nodding toward my work. "Be a shame if they got out." Willow's face hardens, but she brushes him off with a laugh. "You worry too much, William." I pretend not to hear, but my gut's screaming. This guy's got something on her. And it's not just neighborly gossip. As the gala winds down, I'm packing my tools when Yara, their 19-year-old daughter, storms past, her silver dress shimmering under the fairy lights. She's got her mother's fire, but none of the polish, her eyes red like she's been crying. "You okay, kid?" I ask, keeping it casual. She glares, then softens. Just family stuff. You wouldn't get it. I nod, not pushing. I've seen enough kids caught in their parents' crossfire to know better. Thomas, their 17-year-old son, trails behind, looking lost. He's quieter, the kind of kid who feels everything but says nothing. I wonder what they know about their parents' cracks. I'm loading my truck when Robert steps outside, loosening his tie. He looks like a man carrying a boulder. Nice work on the roses, he says, but his voice is hollow. I nod, keeping my thoughts to myself. Thanks. Big night. Huh? He sighs, staring at the mansion. Yeah, too big. He walks back inside, and I catch a glimpse of Willow through the window, laughing with Victor, a Hollywood producer who's all charm and no soul. Victor's 44, with a grin like a shark and a reputation for getting what he wants. I've seen him at other estates, always work in the room. The way he leans into Willow, it's like they share a secret language. Driving home, I can't shake the feeling that this gilded world is about to crack. I've seen it before. Money buys a lot, but it doesn't buy truth. Back in the core, I learned that lies fester like weeds, and no amount of pruning can stop them once they take root. Willow's hiding something, and Robert's starting to see it. Zena's slip, Zara's jab, William's threat, they're all threads in a web I'm not sure I want to untangle, but I'm just the gardener, right? I cut the thorns, not the drama. Still, as I pass the vineyards under the Napa moonlight, I know this story's just beginning, and it's going to be a messy one. The next week, I'm back at the estate, tending to the lavender beds. The gala's glow is gone, replaced by a quiet tension that hangs like fog. Robert's been asking questions, I can tell. He's out on the patio with Zena, his voice low but sharp. What did you mean, Wild? He presses. Zena fumbles, her usual confidence gone. Just, college stuff, parties, nothing serious. But her eyes flick to Willow, who's inside, sipping coffee in a silk robe that probably cost more than my rent. Robert's not letting it go. We were together then, Zena. High school sweethearts. You know that. The silence is heavier than the August heat. I'm weeding by the pool, a mosaic masterpiece that cost a fortune, when Zara pulls me aside. She's got that look, like she's fishing for gossip. You hear things. Working here, she says, her voice conspiratorial. Ever hear about Willow and Victor back in the day? I shrug, keeping it neutral. I just do the plants, ma'am, but she's not buying my act. Come on, you're not blind. Something's up with them. She's right, but I'm not about to spill. I've seen what happens when you poke the hornet's nest in places like this. Later, I'm clearing ivy from the fountain when I find something odd, a silver bracelet half buried in the soil. It's engraved with W and V and a date from 20 years ago. My gut twists. Willow and Victor. I tuck it in my pocket, not sure what to do with it. Could be nothing, could be everything. I've learned to trust my instincts, and they're screaming that this isn't just a keepsake. It's a clue to whatever Willow's hiding. By now, Robert's digging too. I overhear him on the phone with a private investigator, his voice tight. I need to know what happened in college. All of it. He's pacing the veranda, the vineyard stretching out behind him like a painting. Willow's watching from the balcony, her face unreadable. Samuel's hovering, his briefcase stuffed with papers that probably spell trouble. He's got that lawyer's smirk, like he's already counting his cut of the divorce settlement. And then there's William, circling like a vulture, his tech empire giving him the kind of power that makes people nervous. He's got dirt on Willow, I'm sure of it, and he's not afraid to use it. Yara's been avoiding her mom, spending her days blasting music in her convertible Porsche. Thomas sticks close to Robert, asking questions he's too young to handle. I feel for them. Kids shouldn't have to navigate their parents' messes. But this is Napa, where money and secrets grow faster than the grapes. And me, I'm just the guy with the shears, watching it all unfold. But that bracelet in my pocket feels heavier every day, and I know it's only a matter of time before the truth cuts through this golden facade like a blade. Cracked mirror. The Napa sun beats down on the estate, and I'm knee-deep in pruning the olive grove, the kind of work that lets you think while your hands move. The air is thick with the scent of lavender and money, but the vibe around Willow and Robert's mansion has shifted since the gala. It's like the whole place is holding its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I've seen this before. Rich folks think their wealth can bury secrets, but secrets have a way of clawing their way out. That bracelet I found by the fountain, engraved with W and V, is burning a hole in my pocket. I haven't told anyone, not yet, but it's a ticking bomb. I've been around long enough to know you don't stir the pot unless you're ready for the mess. Robert's been different since that night. He's out on the veranda most mornings, staring at the vineyard like it holds answers. His face is all hard lines now, none of that easy charm he had at the gala. He hired a private investigator, and I overheard him on a call last week, his voice low and sharp. Dig into her college years. UCLA. Everything. He's unraveling the story Willow's been spinning, and it's not pretty. I'm trimming the hedges by the pool, a mosaic masterpiece that costs more than most people's houses, when I catch him talking to Annie, his assistant. She's 35, with a quiet strength that cuts through the glitz of this world. She's got her tablet out, scheduling his meetings, but her eyes are soft, like she's carrying some of his weight. You sure about this, Robert? She asks, her voice steady. He nods, jaw tight. I need to know, Annie. I can't live with lies. Willow's keeping up appearances, floating through the mansion in silk caftans, her auburn hair perfect even in the morning light. She's 42, runs a chain of luxury spa resorts that cater to A-listers, and her smile's still a weapon, but I see the cracks. She's been avoiding Robert, spending hours on calls with Samuel, her lawyer. Samuel's 45, all slick suits and emerald cufflinks, the kind of guy who'd sell his own mother for a percentage. I catch him by the koi pond, his voice low. Keep Victor at arm's length, Willow. He's trouble, and you don't need more eyes on you. Victor, the Hollywood producer, has been showing up too much for my liking. He's 44, all charisma and sharp teeth, the kind of guy who walks into a room and owns it. I saw him at the gala, leaning too close to Willow, and now he's back, pulling up in a matte black Ferrari like he's auditioning for a movie. I'm not the only one noticing the tension. Yara, their 19-year-old daughter, is a storm cloud in a Porsche, blasting music loud enough to rattle the windows. She's got her mother's fire, but none of the polish, and she's been dodging Willow since the gala. Thomas, their 17-year-old, sticks close to Robert, asking questions in that quiet way of his. I'm weeding the rose garden when Yara pulls me aside, her eyes blazing. You see everything around here, don't you? She says, half accusing. I shrug, keeping it neutral. Just the plants, kid. But she's not buying it. Something's wrong with Mom and Dad. I know it. I don't say anything, but I feel for her. Kids shouldn't have to play detective in their own family. The truth starts spilling out when Robert's investigator delivers. I'm cleaning the fountain, those damn cherubs again, when I overhear him on the phone. 10 guys? At least? Including Victor and William? His voice cracks, like he's been punched. William, the tech mogul neighbor, is a piece of work, 50, with a grin that could curdle milk. He's been circling Willow like a shark, and now I know why. He was one of her college flings, back when she and Robert were long distance. Robert thought they were exclusive, high school sweethearts weathering the miles, but Willow had other ideas. She told him their relationship wasn't serious back then, that it was just college, but to Robert, it's a knife in the back. Worse, Victor, now a big shot producer, was one of those guys, and he's still in their orbit, showing up at their parties like nothing happened. I'm not surprised when Robert confronts Willow. I'm in the greenhouse, potting orchids, when their voices carry through the open window. You slept with Victor, William, and how many others? Robert's voice is raw, like he's tearing open an old wound. Willow's calm, too calm. It was college, Robert. We were kids. It didn't mean anything. But her words don't land. You introduced me to them, he says, his voice breaking. You let me shake their hands, call them friends. I keep my head down, but I can feel the weight of it. I've seen betrayal before. Hell, I've lived it. But this is next level. Willow's not just hiding her past. She's been living a lie for 20 years. Xavier, Robert's old business partner, smells blood in the water. He's 46, lean and mean, with a chip on his shoulder the size of Silicon Valley. I'm trimming the topiary when I see him pull up in a Tesla, all sleek menace. He and Robert built a venture fund together years ago, but it went south when Robert pulled funding from Xavier's startup, tanking it. Xavier's never forgiven him, and now he's got a plan. I overhear him talking to Samuel by the pool house, his voice dripping with venom. If Robert's distracted by a divorce, we can push him out of the fund. I'll handle the board. You handle Willow. Samuel nods, his eyes glinting like he's already counting the cash. Xavier's not just after money, Halv. He wants to destroy Robert, to take everything he's built. It's personal, and it's ugly. Zara's stirring the pot, too. She's got her gallery in Beverly Hills, but she's hungry for more clout, more headline. I'm sweeping the driveway when she corners me again, her silk scarf fluttering like a warning flag. "You must hear things," she says, fishing. "Willow's past is catching up, isn't it?" I keep my mouth shut, but she's already spreading whispers at her latest art opening, dropping hints about Willow's wild years to the right people. Her gallery's buzzing with buzzards now, all waiting for the scandal to break. Yara's staying with her, rebelling against Willow, and I can't help but think Zara's using the kid to boost her own profile. Annie's the only one keeping Robert grounded. I see them on the patio, her handing him a coffee, her voice steady. "You don't have to decide everything now," she says. "Just take it one step at a time. There's something between them, a spark, but Robert's too raw to see it yet." I'm no romantic, but I've seen enough to know she's good for him. Maybe the only one in this mess who is. I'm done for the day, packing my tools when I decide to do something stupid. That bracelet's been weighing on me, and I can't sit on it anymore. I slip it into an envelope and leave it in Robert's mailbox. No note, no name. It's not my place to get involved, but I've seen what lies do to people. Back in the Corps, we had a saying, "Truth is the only weapon that never jams." Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm lighting a match in a powder keg, but Robert deserves to know. The next day, I'm back at the estate, and the air's thicker than ever. Robert's got the bracelet. I see it in his hand as he storms into the house. Willow's on the phone with Victor, her voice sharp, telling him to stay away. "You're a liability," she snaps, but I catch a tremor in her tone. Victor's not just a fling from the past. He's a ghost that won't stay buried. William's lurking too, dropping by with a neighborly bottle of wine that probably costs more than my rent. His smile's all teeth, and I know he's holding something over Willow, maybe a deal to get a stake in her spa empire. Xavier's making moves too. I overhear him on a call, plotting to sway the fund's board against Robert. He's distracted, he says, grinning like a fox. This is our shot. Samuel's in on it, feeding Xavier info about Willow's assets. It's a chess game, and Robert's the king they're trying to topple. Yara's back home, but she's barely speaking to Willow, and Thomas is glued to Robert's side, asking questions that break my heart. "Dad, did Mom ever love you?" he asks, and Robert can't answer. I'm just the gardener, but I see it all. The lies, the greed, the broken trust. This place is a cracked mirror, reflecting a life that looks perfect but shatters under pressure. Willow's fighting to keep her empire, Robert's fighting for his dignity, and everyone else is picking sides or picking pockets. I drive home under the Napa stars, the bracelet gone, but the weight's still there. This isn't over, not by a long shot. Flame at dusk. The Napa Valley estate is a stage tonight, lit up for another gala, but the air's thick with something heavier than champagne fumes. I'm shaping the boxwood hedges, my shears snipping in rhythm, but my eyes are on the mansion. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light through the windows, and guests in black tie finery swirl like moths around a flame. Willow's in a scarlet gown, her auburn hair pinned up like a crown, commanding the room as only the queen of a spa empire can. Robert stands apart, his tux crisp but his face carved from stone. The cracks in their marriage are wide open now, and this glittering night feels like the last act of a tragedy. I've seen wars quieter than this, and as a former Marine, I know the calm before the storm. I'm sweeping petals by the marble fountain when Robert makes his move. He's been carrying that bracelet I slipped into his mailbox, the one engraved with W and V, and it's like a grenade in his pocket. He corners Willow on the terrace, away from the crowd, sipping $1,000 wine. "We're done," he says, his voice low but final. "I'm filing for divorce." The words hit like a gunshot. Willow's face flickers, shock, then defiance. "You're throwing away 20 years over college mistakes?" She snaps, but her voice shakes. Robert holds up the bracelet, his eyes burning. "Mistakes? You let me shake their hands, Willow. Victor, William, all of them. The guests don't hear, but I do, and it's like the air itself cracks." I move to the koi pond, pretending to check the water lilies, but I'm watching the fallout. Yara, their 19-year-old, is hovering near the bar, her silver dress catching the light, but her face dark with anger. She's been staying with Zara, the gal with the Beverly Hills Gallery, and I can tell she's heard enough to pick a side. Thomas, their 17-year-old, sticks close to Robert, his eyes wide like he's watching his world collapse. I feel for them. Kids shouldn't have to wade through their parents' wreckage. But this is Napa, where money buys everything except peace. William, The tech mogul neighbor is working the room, his smug grin sharper than ever. He's 50 with a fortune that makes him untouchable, and he's got dirt on Willow. I'm trimming the rose trellis when I overhear him by the pool, a $1 million mosaic that sparkles like a jewel. He's whispering to Willow, his voice like oil. Give me a stake in your spas, or the press gets a story that'll bury you. Willow's smile doesn't waver, but her eyes are daggers. You're bluffing, William, she says, but there's fear in her voice. I know he's not. I heard him last week, plotting with Xavier, Robert's old partner, to use her past to sink her empire. Xavier's the real snake here. He's 46, lean and hungry, with a grudge against Robert that goes back a decade. Robert tanked Xavier's startup by pulling funding, and now Xavier's out for blood. I'm clearing Ivy from the gazebo when I catch him on a call, his voice low and venomous. Willow's desperate. He tells someone, probably Samuel, her lawyer, push her to settle fast and we'll carve up Robert's fund. Xavier's not just after money. He wants to ruin Robert, to take the empire they built together. Samuel's in on it, his emerald cufflinks flashing as he huddles with Willow, promising to handle the divorce. He's 45, slick as a used car salesman, and I bet he's skimming more than legal fees. Zara's playing her own game, too. Her gallery's buzzing with rumors about Willow's past, and she's milking it for clout. I see her schmoozing with art collectors, dropping hints about scandal in Napa. She's 41, all silk and ambition, and she's got Yara under her wing, using the kids' rebellion to fuel her own rise. Yara's back home now, but she's barely speaking to Willow, and when she overhears Robert's divorce announcement, she storms out, tears streaking her face. Thomas follows, whispering, "Mom, why?" Willow tries to reach for him, but he pulls away. It's a gut punch, even for me, just the gardener watching from the shadows. I'm not supposed to get involved, but I can't help it. Last week, I overheard William and Xavier by the pool house, scheming to leak Willow's college flings to the press. I slipped a recording of it to Robert anonymously through Annie. She's 35, sharp and steady, the only one keeping Robert from falling apart. I see them on the patio, her hand brushing his as she hands him the file. This could help, she says, her voice soft but firm. Robert nods, his eyes grateful. There's something between them, a spark, but he's too broken to see it yet. Annie's different from this crowd. She doesn't need diamonds to shine. The real bomb drops in therapy. I'm not privy to the sessions, but I hear enough from Thomas, who's been talking to me while I weed the lavender beds. Willow finally admits to a recent fling, a manager at one of her spas, someone she flirted with on a business trip. Yara and Thomas hear it from Robert, and it's the final straw. Yara's done, refusing to even look at her mom. Thomas, usually so quiet, explodes, telling Willow, "You lied to us our whole lives." I'm raking leaves when I see Willow break down on the balcony, her perfect facade crumbling. For the first time, she shows remorse, but it's too late. Robert's mind is made up. Xavier makes his move at the gala, cornering Robert with a fake smile. "Let's settle this like men," he says, offering a deal to split the fund. "You're distracted, Robert. Step back or you'll lose everything." Robert's no fool. He knows Xavier's playing dirty. He's got the recording I gave him, and he's ready to fight. But Xavier's one step ahead, leaking a story to a gossip site through a proxy. By morning, whispers of Willow's wild college years are all over X, and the Napa elite are eating it up. Zara's gallery gets a boost, just like she planned, but she's not as slick as she thinks. I overhear her bragging to a client, and I know she's in over her head. Victor's back, too, slinking into the gala like he owns the place. He's 44, all Hollywood charm, and he's got history with Willow that won't stay buried. I'm pruning the jasmine when I see him pull her aside, his hand lingering on her arm. "We could still be something," he murmurs, but Willow shuts him down, her voice icy. "You're a mistake I can't afford." But I see the way her eyes linger, and I wonder if she's fighting herself as much as him. Victor's not done. He's got his own plans, and I'm betting they're tied to her spas. I'm done for the day, packing my tools. When I make a call I might regret. I send Robert one last anonymous tip. A photo of a contract I found in the trash, linking William to Xavier's scheme. It's enough to give Robert the upper hand, and he uses it. At the gala's end, he confronts Xavier in front of the board, exposing their plan to oust him. Xavier's face goes white, his empire crumbling as the board turns on him. Samuel scrambles to cover his tracks, but he's burned too. Willow's left standing alone, her reputation in tatters as the gossip spreads. The divorce wraps up fast after that. Willow keeps her spas, but the scandals cost her half her clients. Robert gets his share of the assets and moves to a sleek condo in San Francisco with Annie by his side, not as a lover, not yet, but as something real. He asks her to wait, and she does, her smile saying she's not going anywhere. Yara and Thomas choose to live with Robert, their trust in Willow broken. I see them at the estate one last time, packing their bags, and it hits me hard. Kids shouldn't have to choose. I'm finishing the rose garden when I see Willow in the vineyard, burning a stack of old letters in a silver brazier. Her face is calm, but her hands shake. I think she's done, starting fresh until I spot a new contract in her purse, signed with Victor's production company. My gut twists. He's not just a fling. He's her new investor, and I know what that means. Victor's playing a long game, and Robert's in his crosshairs. I drive out under the Napa dusk, the sky burning red, and I can't shake the feeling that this isn't the end. It's a new war, and I'm just the gardener, watching the flames rise. Thanks so much for watching. Your likes, subscriptions, and comments mean the world, and keep these stories coming.